He has demeaned so many people, and he's covered this up by talking a good game.
A member of the Metro School Board criticizing the city's mayor tonight, just a few hours after the mayor did the same thing to the board.
Mayor David Briley called the school board fractured. News 4's Lindsay Nance spoke to a board member tonight.
Yeah, it seems she is not pleased with the mayor's words, Lindsay.
Yeah, she's not, especially after David Briley saying that Metro School's biggest issue is racial inequality and that the school board isn't doing enough. Today, Mayor Briley didn't hold back on his feelings toward the Metro School Board, saying they're failing too many children and families, especially those of color.
Some of our school board members have not acknowledged why their actions are seen through a racial lens. They've failed to acknowledge the legacy of racism and the legacy of systemic racism in Nashville.
It can't be about color. You can't define yourself and be a poor me because I'm black. No.
Metro board member Fran Bush says race isn't the issue. Poor leadership by Superintendent Dr. Sean Joseph is.
He has demeaned so many people, and he's covered this up by talking a good game.
While Briley didn't criticize Joseph, he did blast the board for secret meetings and social media disputes. He says he will now be at the forefront of Metro Schools, fully involved in human resources, finances, and hiring a new director of schools. But Bush says he doesn't have that power.
Unfortunately, you cannot do that. So I hate that he gave people a false hope.
Bush fears that his speech just made the tension between the board and the city worse.
As a mayor, you bridge those type of problems. You bring people together. You bring the city together. And today, he did not do that.
Dr. Joseph recently announced that he will not be renewing his contract in 2020. And on April 9th, the school board will decide whether or not to terminate that contract. Tom, Tracy.
Lindsay Nance live for us tonight. Lindsay, thanks. It is not surprising that the board members have a strong reaction because Mayor David Briley came out swinging. He said the board has failed to recognize the legacy of systematic racism in Nashville and the legacy of inequality. He added he will take a more involved role with the school system. From now on, any funding given to the board from the city will come with strings attached until the board, quote, gets its house in order.
This is a fractured group that too often deliberates in secret, that can be quicker to tweet and post to Facebook than lead. And they cannot consistently honor their own policy, which requires all board members to get behind any majority decision they make.
As for Director Sean Joseph, Briley has nothing but supportive things to say there. Briley called the school's director job the hardest one in the city and said he's doing it perfectly. However, he did admit there were probably some things that would be done differently if Joseph had a chance to do them again.
Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce sent out a brief statement saying, quote, preparing students for their future is the most important commitment we make as a community. We applaud the mayor for asserting leadership in resolving the situation taking place in Metro schools. Now, the board member who resigned earlier this week clearly agrees with Briley, saying the board needs to get in shape. Will Pinkston abruptly resigned, posting his letter of resignation on Twitter. He tweeted today, and this is that tweet today, saying, I picked a good week to retire.